To the growth and scaling sessions today. Today, we're going to be guested with our friend Casey Mosby. Casey, can you give us a little intro as to who you are and what do you do?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I am a strategic designer, a growth marketer. I help businesses grow and scale, entrepreneurs in different industries. I really love, doing consulting and strategy for different businesses and helping them to increase their revenue operations. I help with, copywriting consultations so that we can get higher conversions, happier clients and customers, and just be of service. I'm of service here. And I think that's also kind of the topic we're talking about today is like,
100%.
I'm really excited to speak to you, Todd. I'll let you introduce it, but.
Yeah. Well, and I'm your host, Todd Westra, and thanks so much for being here today, Casey. We had a couple of other guests planned to be here that schedules just got wonky all of a sudden. But I am your host, Todd Westra, and I own a company called Moku. And with Moku, we go through and we help companies really align their sales, marketing, product, and customer success teams to one solid mission. And mission, vision, and core values are what we're talking about today because this is so critical in trying to align a team. Casey, have you ever worked with a team when you're trying to develop marketing and messaging and they don't have a clear mission?
I've worked on a team where there were individuals on the team that had their own missions that weren't aligned. Yeah. And when that happens, it's kind of like you can't have two captains navigating one ship in a way. It doesn't work well. And sometimes the ship ends up going nowhere because, people on the team are moving in different directions and they're not aligned. And so, it can be frustrating when that happens. And a lot of times, yeah. Have you experienced this before?
100%. No, and it's interesting because in our podcast we released yesterday with Sam Tejas, he mentioned and brought it up a few times that you can only have one quarterback on the field at a time. And that quarterback has to know his game plan. They got to play to his strengths, and you can't have two people on the field trying to run the show at the same time. And so when we talk about mission, vision, values, one of the key elements to this is being very clear on the mission. When we talk about, say, a military operation, you don't just send troops into an area where, like, hey, we're going to Iraq. All right, awesome. What are we going to do when we get there? We'll figure it out when we get there. You would never hear of something like this happening in a military operation. Same could be said about almost any other goal or objective that a company might have or an operational function. I mean, when you don't have a mission very clearly defined, then what happens is your whole team shows up. You could have the best players in the world, but if you don't know who's playing what roles and what economic objectives you have, your mission is rarely going to be achieved. So when I talk to founders, most often they do have some idea of what they want to accomplish, but chances are they really haven't shared it very well. And so this is where mission comes in so handy. Our company has a mission that we want our entire team to be connected with. Right now, our mission is we're launching a new product this month. And this product is super important because it is this alignment project that we're trying to do. It's called an orbit analysis. And this product, in my mind, is super important because it helps align sales, marketing, product, customer success teams onto one mission. Now, if I just said to my team, hey guys, we're gonna try and get as many people to sign up as possible. What does that mean? What does that mean to you, Casey? If I just said, hey guys, we're gonna try and sign up as many people for this product as possible. Is that our mission?
I would say that's sort of tapping into a mission, but it can get a lot deeper than that. And the deeper we go, the more powerful it can be. And how do we go deeper with that is, I think, by asking the question, well, why?
Yeah.
Why are we trying to sell as many of these as possible?
Love it.
Because by asking why, I think we tie the mission in with a deeper purpose. And that sense of purpose really becomes a motivator and a driver on an emotional level that really taps into, the core, and I love, there's like a Simon Sinek thing where he takes people and he goes through like those 5 levels of why, or like however many layers deep you go. The deeper you go with the why, I think you really start to uncover what truly the company stands for or the product stands for. I believe it's helpful to have a mission for the company as a whole, and then
Right.
also like whatever that could be. It could be like a movement. It could be a statement of like what this company stands for, what they don't stand for.
Right.
But it could also be, having a mission for each individual product as well. Like, why does this product matter in the world? Who is this serving, and why is this a need? Why, and so I like to
Perfect.
bring it up with that as well. So not only the what, but also the why.
I love that. Now, one thing that I'll mention is that our mission statement for our company changed from being a very broad, hey, we want to sell this product, to being a very specific, we want to produce an orbit analysis for 20 revenue operations teams and have 8 of them convert to another product we have by the end of the year, because no company can really grow and scale without a common purpose.
Yeah.
And so this is our new mission statement. This is how we operate. And I will tell you that I was really encouraged to hear recently that Donald Miller in the Business Made Simple world uses this as part of his training on mission statements. It should be a goal. It should be an attainable goal. It should be something, an objective that your whole team can get behind. Because if they don't see what the goal is, guess how many people are going to be motivated to go to that goal?
Right.
Zero. Mm-hmm. They don't know what the goal is. And so connecting a tangible, realistic end to your mission statement can really help define the why that you were talking about. And it just gets everybody on the same page. And so I totally agree with you on stating the why in your mission statement, but also get some real tangible pieces of economic progress you want to have in that objective. And your whole team's gonna, and if you were a hairdresser and you had a mission statement that said, I want to cut lots of hair this year. We're in the business of making people look pretty, or something cute like that. It doesn't give them an objective. There's no mission there. I want to go to Iraq. Why? Because we want to take out Saddam Hussein and we want to,
Yeah. For example, like for the haircutting business, I think a mission, an example of that would be like, helping people improve their confidence with, one.
That would be the why, right?
Yeah, that's like the why, and that's a driver though, and then setting a more like, I guess, like measurable goal along with that by giving, X amount of hair, like.
I want to style. We will style 10 heads a day per, I want to style 10 heads a day for the next 30 days because nobody should have messy hair. I don't know. There's got to be something. Hey, Daniel, great to see you too. So I think that there is a real power here in having your mission statement kind of be super focused. Like if I only did 8 heads of hair that day and my mission was to do 10. Yeah. You know what I would do? I would probably put a sign out in front of my door and say, hey, discounted hair today. Come on in. Mm-hmm. I need 2 more.
So you hit that number? Oh, interesting.
Right. And so
I'm curious if anybody tuning in here on the LinkedIn Live, if you guys want to drop in what your company's mission is, if you have one. And we can kind of talk about it, because I would love to hear if anybody's here live, please feel free to share your company mission or your personal mission and we can talk about it. I'd love to.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Okay. I totally agree, Casey. And those of you that are watching, please throw in your mission statement below. I will promise to comment on your mission statement below and tell you what I think you guys stand for, because it is so obvious when companies don't have a clear mission statement because they feel like they just got dropped off by a helicopter in Iraq. They don't know where they're going. They don't know what their objective is. And if you don't, you could have the most talent in the world in your company and they're not going to accomplish anything because they don't know what the primary objectives are. So put it in your mission statement, be really specific. And I promise if you do this, you're going to find that your whole team can get behind it. So move it, soldier. Right. What about vision? What do you feel like is an appropriate vision?
Vision's really interesting because visualization is something that I practice every single day. It's definitely, I incorporate it in my morning routine. Right after my meditation, I will visualize, my dream reality that I want to be in. And it's not always just about business. I mean, here we are, we're having a conversation about business on LinkedIn, but you can have visualizations for your entire life that makes you have a holistic, healthy, well-being like life. And it can involve several different areas. And when we're balanced in that way, I actually find that we can show up better in business. If
Right.
your health's in check, if your relationships are nurtured well, and if your personal life, if you have time for recreation, time to invest in your intellectual life, time to explore and do the things that really fill your cup. And then there's visualization for business too. So how do you envision your business growing, or what do you want to incorporate? And I think taking time to really sit in that space as if it's already happening, and just
Right.
feeling grateful that it's already happening. I mean, there's a lot of techniques and practices that I use personally for my own visualization. You can use vision boards, gratitude, journaling, or
I
just
love it.
simply like closing the eyes and seeing the picture as if it's already there and feeling grateful for it. And I think these are really like quantum leaps that we can take in our lives to kind of like, I don't know, the buzzword manifest, but like, I
Right.
think there's really something to it that works. If anything, just casting that vision, you can start to attract that perhaps to you. You can start to see the pieces as they come together, and
Totally.
I think it can be really powerful. I mean, even in terms of like performance, there's psychological studies that show that when athletes visualize themselves, like say you have a soccer player, for example, and their performance increases by them just visualizing them making the goal or making the pass. And if they spend 30 minutes to an hour in visualization every day, their performance increases.
Love
And
it.
that's amazing. And if that can happen in sports, imagine, of course, it can happen in business too. You visualize yourself, having an amazing client call, or, making that sale, or, hosting that workshop, whatever
Totally.
it is, visualizing that being successful and that you're providing the most value in that moment, and that, and calling in that it could go even better than you even imagined, I think is.
I think you're 100% correct in visualizing. I think some people they don't connect vision with visualizing, and I think it's super important that is what it means. I had an interview yesterday on the podcast with that you'll see in a couple weeks here. Alessandro Fard. He owns a company called Create Ape, and he and I have talked a few times about his company, and I love his vision. He set a vision because he was a self-made, company. He's grown it significantly for a small business, for a marketing agency type product. He grew it really, really well, and his whole vision of an exit for him that he thought would take 10 plus years to achieve was to receive a $5 million net payout for his company. Now, that's not a huge, massive goal compared to what, a lot of people are selling for billions of dollars now and different exits like that. But for him and that business model, his vision was 5 million. If I can reach this goal, that's that was his vision. That was what
Yeah.
his specific thing was. And now 4.5 years into it, he's entertaining offers that will get him that net amount for his business.
Mhm.
It's so exciting. He would have, and he told me, he's like, Todd, I would have never thought I could achieve it this fast, but I think because I could visualize it, it's kind of happening, and
Yeah.
I'm getting there. And I think
Yeah.
too many businesses don't have that vision, and I think they confuse vision and mission
Mm.
and think that they're the same thing.
Mhm.
But I look at it as vision being the end goal, mission kind of being these objectives you're going to hit along the way that your whole company should be focused on.
Mm.
But at some point, you're going to accomplish the mission, and then you're going to move on to the next mission and the next mission. And so that mission statement becomes an ever-changing thing, whereas a vision is like, okay, where are we going with this? What does our exit look like? How are we wanting to, what do we want to accomplish? What impact do we want to have on the world? That's a great vision statement right there. Is, how do we want to impact the world? That's a cool thing to think about in your vision.
Mhm. Yeah, I
So,
think those are really great points that you brought up. Definitely.
yeah. So as you think about mission and then vision being the longer, more broad term, what about core values? What in the world is that supposed to mean?
I mean, values are the things that you stand for. That's like the blueprint of the business. Those are like the non-negotiable things that it's just like the personality of the company. And I think we can have values on a personal level, and then when those values align with the organization and with the company, that's when some real good magic happens. I think it's important to hire people based on values as well. So, like, is that a part of the hiring process and who you're bringing on the team? Because when the values are aligned, there's a lot of cohesion, there's a lot of collaboration, cooperation that can happen because there's this shared sense of value. And I think it's good when the companies have at least like 3 to 5 core values. You don't want to have too many, but you don't want to have not enough either. But I think 3 to 5 is a good range. What do you think?
I love 3 to 5. I think 3 to 5 is enough. I was on I was talking with a friend of mine who was hired by a company, and the name's going to come to me here in just a second, but I wasn't planning on talking about them, but I had a friend who was hired by a company, and he said, yeah, I've been working with these guys for like 3 years, and I absolutely align with them. And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean by you align with them? He's like, everything they do is just so centered around their values. And I said, you got to, like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? This wasn't something we talked about prior to 5-10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so as he started talking about these values, I said, oh, that's really cool. And then finally, and then I talked to another friend working for the same company, and they said, oh yeah, I love working here. I think I could make more money elsewhere, but I don't think I'll ever leave here. And I said, why? And they said, because they totally align with me. And the second time, I said, well, who do you work for? And they said the same company. It's an HR platform, and the name is going to come to me here in a second. But this company, literally, I heard this from 3 or 4 friends of mine. I went down to the company, and I set an appointment. I actually met the founders. There's 2 founders. I met both the founders at a little event up in the town where I live, and I said, I've got to sit down with you guys and figure out what you've done, because your whole company feels like they're aligned. Everyone's telling me this is the best place in the world to work. And so it's Bamboo HR. Bamboo HR, amazing company. And I go down and I meet with one of the founders, and I'm sitting there in the lobby waiting to meet with him. And I see these core value signs in their lobby. And I'm like, okay, a lot of people have core value signs and stuff like that. Well, I asked the girl at the front desk, I said, hey, do you like working here? She says, well, yeah, it's the best company in the world. I'm like, Okay, I keep hearing this. She's the fourth person who's told me this in the last like 2 weeks. And I said, well, what do you love about it? She's like, oh, I just feel like everyone here is aligned the same way. And this kept saying the word align, which threw me off. And I said, well, what do you mean by align? And she's like, well, our values. And I said, well, what are your core values? What are the core values of the company? She goes, boom, 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 boom. They had 7 core values, which is a lot, but she quoted every single one of them. And then I said, okay, do you guys have a mission statement? Boom, rattled off the mission statement. This is the girl at the front desk. I said, are you like filling in for somebody today? Are you thinking that maybe she's like the head of marketing or something has come down to sit at the desk for a minute? Like, oh no, I've just been working the desk here for a couple of years, and she was a young, upper teens, maybe young 20s. But I walked out of that appointment from Bamboo HR and thought, my company needs to be this aligned. Like, this is amazing. I didn't think this could happen. And so core values align. And what the founder told me is, he said, Todd, because we think values are so critical, our entire hiring process goes so much easier. We literally go through all the core values with every hire. And if they don't align, it's obvious. They feel uncomfortable. And so we don't hire people that don't align with our values. So anyway, what are your thoughts on that, Casey?
Well, I mean, I think that sounds great. And I'm also curious if you'd like to share what Moku's core values are as well.
Would love to. Yeah, no. So our core values, we embedded into our name. The name Moku is not it's actually a Japanese word. It's a symbol for your eye, for vision, to have vision when you do things. And so Moku stands for vision. But the acronym we developed was, and we did this exercise with all my leadership team, the M stands for being moral. We believe that being moral is the key element that connects us. We don't like to do anything shady. We're not going to sell something we don't believe in. We just believe that there's a lot of things we could do to be above board in our business, and we try to do those things. The O is to be optimistic. We love being optimistic. Optimism drives growth and happiness, and so we believe that optimism is a key core value of our company. K is to be keen to our clients' needs. A business without customer success and having customers be happy with what you do is not going to last. You can't grow a business without repeat customers. You can't have repeat customers unless they're happy. And so we believe that being keen to our clients' needs is essential. That's a core value of ours. U is to be understanding. And understanding means to be heard and to hear. And so we do try to listen to feedback. We really design almost every one of our products around, if someone is selling me this, what would I like to have happen? And we actually do a lot of outreach to understand, if you were to buy this, what would be super important for you to have with this thing? And so Moku stands for being moral, optimistic, keen to our clients, and have understanding. And those are our core values.
Yep. I love those. And I hope that's inspiring to maybe some other people as well. If you guys don't have core values yet for your organization, or even, maybe like your family unit, like try adopt some, experiment with them and post them around, and mention them in meetings, or, I think it's key for every visionary company to have this, to create that cohesion. It's definitely an important part. So have it on onboarding, reward people for expressing those core values, give them recognition when you see that they're acting upon those core values. I would say is like a, really important and valuable. And, along with having leadership or growth trainings in the organization, I think can foster that and make sure that everybody's aligned. Yeah. And I think that really just creates that momentum. And that alignment that's so powerful in organizations. Yeah.
And I'd love to invite anyone watching to put in the comments below your core values and the core values of your company. If you know them. If you don't know them, put down below, I don't know. If you do know them, put them below. I would love to see what aligns you with your company and how your company aligns with your clients. One of the other things that I've noticed, Casey, is that by being vocal about our core values, we also find that our clients have similar values. It's the weirdest thing. We're finding that people that want to work with us are people that also are very value driven, and generally their values align with ours, which makes the whole relationship so much better. I brought on a client last year who I thought had values that aligned with mine, and turns out they did not. And so at the end of the day, our relationship ended pretty horribly because there weren't the same layers of values that we aligned with. And because of that, we couldn't work together. So It's interesting. I love working with people that I like. And as a business founder, you can choose who you want to work with. So why not be very vocal about your values and what they mean to you? Because I can promise you it will attract people who want to work with a company that is aligned with those values. So throw them in the comments below if you have guiding principles like this. And Casey, you and I have talked about this quite a bit, but our company Moku has a product called the Orbit Analysis, in which this is one of the very first things we look into. We do an analysis of companies to see why their teams are not aligned. And usually it's because they have nothing to align them to. It's a sad but true thing. So many companies and brands that we've gone to work with really have confusing statements that don't mean anything. I've seen mission statements that were like a full page long that I'm like, holy crap, how do you expect anybody to read that, let alone memorize it and feel aligned to it? They can't. They really can't. Make your mission something that is a guiding principle for your team. Make the vision something that everyone can buy into and has a thought process of like, dude, man, our company is really trying to get here, and this makes it so easy for me to jump on board and work with them to do this thing. And then the values just are the guiding light of how you operate day to day. When I find that something that one of my people is doing doesn't align with a core value, it's something that we usually terminate for. If somebody is not being moral, you're done. This is a core value of ours. I haven't ever fired anyone for not being optimistic, but dang it, get happy, get motivated, feel like this is where we're going. And I think that so often, Casey, in a business's life cycle, when they're trying to grow and scale, it's so hard to do it without guiding principles and a guidance system that can align the whole team to go where they want to go.
Right. I mean, that's the core of the culture, and when that culture is there, I think that in itself, and when all those three principles, the vision and the mission and the values are there, then the team culture is what can really just bring that cohesion and that collaboration. And it's really powerful when it works, when everybody's on board and they're aligned. I mean, it's just magic happens, I think. So
it does happen.
And that's why it's one of the first steps in the analysis. It's one of the most important and foundational elements to having a strong structure to build on. You don't build a house on a shaky foundation. If you don't have these key elements in place, or maybe you do, but maybe your company team isn't aware of them or something, and you're wondering why do things feel a little shaky for me right now? Why is there, why are things slipping through the cracks? Well, take a look at your foundation. And
right. 100%. I mean, when a company is launching, everyone knows the goal of the company is to launch, right? Like, hey, let's get on board. We're gonna push this startup to a comfortable revenue model, and we're gonna get there. Everyone's on board. They know what to do. They're kind of like they're aligned on the mission of launching. Yeah. But then after the launch, it, everyone kind of starts getting placed in silos. I'm on the
Right.
sales team. Hey, we're just going to do sales. Hey, I'm on the marketing team. All I'm going to focus on is marketing. They're not together and aligned towards one thing. And when they're
Yeah,
not, growth is stagnant.
totally. Yeah, those different departments may have their own
Their
goals,
own cultures.
but it's important that those all are also
Aligned.
cohesively moving together towards that larger mission, that larger vision, and aligned in those core values, so that they're all collaborating effectively. Yeah.
Totally. Totally. So I think, Casey, at this point, we open it up. If there's any questions, anything that someone would like to have us address, please feel free to throw them in the comments, and we'll call them up. And then
Yeah.
also, don't hesitate to go to orbit.withmocha.com to learn more about this analysis that we're doing. Jason, I love your comments. I love all of them. Be warm, direct, and transparent. Absolutely amazing. Those are awesome
Yeah.
core values, I think. The client experience. Yeah. Yeah. No, listen, client success, customer success, and be of service. Okay. I love everything you said, Jason. I totally agree. And I align with those principles that you just thrown in there. 100% aligned with that. And if there's anyone else that is watching the restream, the rebroadcast of this, throw them in the comments. We will be engaging with you for the next few days on this live. And if anyone's got a question or would like us to cover something, don't hesitate to throw it in right now, and we'll cover it with you.
Yeah, or reach out to us directly too. Feel free to DM us, and we can have a conversation about, mission, vision, or values. If you want some feedback on yours or something, just feel free to reach out.
Totally. And you can see on the link right here, we are available. You can get more information at orbit.withmocha.com. And we look forward to catching up with you then. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Casey, for being here with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's my pleasure always. I love having these conversations about what we do, about how we can be of service to others. And yeah, this was a great convo. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks so